Welcome back, everybody, to This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I'm your host, Perry. With me, as always, it's the Whiskey Mutant.
I don't know.
Looking slick in that brand new hat, bro.
Ask me where I got it. Ask me where I got it.
Where'd you get it?
From you.
That's right. I gave it to him. It was a little... I was making an order anyway, and I figured a friend could use a new hat.
You didn't like my other hat?
No, I just wanted you to have that one, too.
What's wrong with my other one? This whole episode, I'm just going to get, tore up about everything.
What's that supposed to mean? I just said it smelled good. You think it smells better than I do? Well, hey, if you're here for the first time, thank you so much for checking out the show. Please be sure to subscribe. And if you are returning, dadgummit, I hope you've been well.
Hope so.
I hope. I
if
really
not,
do.
I'm going to be sad.
I don't know if I can do this for a full hour and a half.
I won't do that for that long.
If you want to support the show too, patreon.com/mybourbon podcast for as little as $1 a month, for as little as $5 a month. There's so much bonus content.
So much content.
There's so much content that's over there. Yeah, it's a good time. I have fun. Eric has fun. And we spill tea over there that you don't get otherwise. Oh, and Pete Samuels, our resident poltergeist.
He never comes on camera.
That's okay.
Can't see me.
People aren't ready for his impish charm.
Oh, it's something. I mean, it's not what you think, though.
I was going to say, whatever you think he looks like, you're wrong.
For sure.
It's something completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we didn't fully spill tea this week, but we kind of alluded to it a little bit. I don't know if we even want to talk about it that much.
The other night?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll just let bygones be bygones, I guess.
Yeah. I didn't feel good the next morning.
I didn't feel good in the moment. I didn't feel good the next morning. I didn't feel good when I was eating lunch the next day.
And you get a text from Barry that says, let's just bottle chug barrel proof. And it's like 11 o'clock. I'm like, damn it. You take the risk and you just wake up the next day feeling bad.
Yeah. I don't know. That's all right. We love you guys.
We do.
We did what we can. Anyway, this week we are going to be taking a little flying blind. We're going to be talking about barrel finishing.
Are we?
Bourbons. Remember we said last week we were going to talk about what that's about. I'm going to tell you what I've been up to this week, specifically about 3 hours ago.
Ooh,
2 hours ago.
He's got something new.
I'm fresh and I'm in a little bit of pain. Eric was very happy when I surprised him with this new revelation.
Yeah. So we have something else in common now.
Yeah, man. We both got vasectomies.
Neither one of us can
have
full-blown loads. They're full blown. They're not powered up anymore.
Huh? I'm good.
Well, you just said.
I know. I'm kidding. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm just going crazy. Like mine doesn't do anything. I don't have nothing to worry about.
That's fine.
Loads there.
I'm painting the garage. And then we got a review of the newest Parker's Heritage. It's a 17th edition, I think is what we said.
Yep.
I'm going to go through some of the releases as well from the Parker's Heritage collection that I didn't even know existed. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But first, flying blind. You ready for this?
Blind me.
Give me a glass. And give me
that ass. Is this in a bottle, a full bottle, or a sample?
It is in a sample.
So I can open my eyes.
Well,
I will leave them closed.
Yeah.
I love getting blinded.
I love it when Perry blinds me.
I love it when he just blinds me. Gets it all in my eyes.
All right, you can open your eyes.
Okay, let's see. Ooh. that hits my nostrils and just goes right down into my belly.
Here it goes down into my belly.
That oak and what is that? It's almost like sherbet.
Yes. I get a little bit of like more like forest greenery as well on it.
Yeah, I get a little orange. Orange sherbet. Cheers.
Cheers. Happy Timbip, everybody.
Oh. I was not expecting that based on the nose.
Oh, that's good.
Now it has turned into French toast.
French toast and caramel corn.
True.
This would go with the Twinkies
Yes.
flavored popcorn.
The finish pops up and it's like, like a scoop of vanilla ice cream with caramel on top.
Yeah. Feels like Christmas for some reason. You feel that?
It feels like a fair to me.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like I've just got like a big old like gimmicky like bucket of like ice cream, like a sundae of some sort, a funnel cake.
Yeah. We are in fair season.
It doesn't taste very high proof either.
You would be correct.
It's very soft.
Mm-hmm.
It's just flavor. It's just a full flavor. There's not much alcohol, not much proof. A good finish.
Well, this is straight bourbon whiskey,
Okay.
96 proof.
Okay.
Do not know what the age is on it.
Okay.
This is from Four Branches
4 Branches.
in Tennessee.
What is 4 Branches?
It's a distillery.
I don't know that one.
I had a friend of the show, friend of the family, Ben, who lives next to Lucy's dad. And he said, I got this sample that I want you to try. I think they would be a great interview for the podcast as well. And I was like, well.
So did he tell you where it was sourced from? Or
It's theirs. It's theirs.
It says DSP Kentucky.
Oh. That is some phenomenal bourbon.
That's great.
Yeah. I really, really like that.
And it's only 96 proof.
Yeah. I don't think it needs to be anything higher.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, that is a crushable, but I will say for it to be that proof, there's a lot of layers to that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funnel cake, it's orange on the nose. That's good. When is that going to be bottled?
I don't know. We're going to have to find out. We're going to have to get him on the show, and we're going to have to ask them.
Call them
a lot of questions. I cannot do that. You know what I can do, though, is ask you, what have you been drinking recently?
4 Branches.
Well, fair enough.
Let's see. What have I been drinking? Oh,
Jack Daniel's single barrel proof.
that is true.
We both drank some of that.
That is true.
Night.
I paired that.
While you're doing this, I'm getting hot.
That day, I had made my 69ing for the week, and I'd used the Jack Daniels to pair Cinnamon Toast Crunch cookies. So I had that. Then me and Perry had some more later that night.
Because we were commiserating together.
Yeah, there's this whole thing. Like, it's probably more of an in-person conversation if you're ever around. But we went out for Addison's 15th birthday.
Yeah, man.
And she wanted to go up to Malone's. I know, I can't either. Went up to Malone's, and at that time, I was in a very wilderness trail mood. So I had an old fashioned, and before food got there, I was like, let me get a pour of, I don't know what, like which mash bill it was, what the proof. I just said, give me a pour of the BHG Select Wilderness Trail.
Yeah.
Brought it out, and it tasted like a oatmeal cream pie.
Nice.
It was so good.
Oh, yeah. You said that on your Instagram story, too, didn't you?
I was like, this is oatmeal cream pie
awesome,
in a glass.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's probably, I haven't had too much more. I probably had a little bit more around when I was talking to Perry, but yeah, those are the 2 significant things I've had.
I got one that I've been drinking recently that I wanted to actually share with you.
Oh, hell. 4 branches.
Other than 4 branches.
Oh, okay.
We don't, I mean, you can sip on that, put it to the side if you want, or whatever.
It's 96 proof.
But
it gone.
You make a very fair point.
That's why that thing is crushable.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
I got this E.H. Taylor single barrel.
I saw that the other day in your trunk.
That I showed to you, and I think I cracked it that night.
Yeah,
it was either that night or the night after, just because it had been staring at me.
Yeah,
and I have never owned a bottle of this that I have been able to open. I've always, like, there was that one pick that I found. I don't remember if I talked about this. I think I did talk about this on the podcast. There was the one pick that I found that I wound up having to sell because I needed the money.
Yeah.
And then there was another one that I was just kind of a liaison for, like just kind of passing off to somebody else. But yeah, this is my very first, and it's not a pick, it's just the single barrel. This is my very first bottle of E.H. Taylor single barrel. And
do you know if this is like a recent one? Or
I don't know anything about it, honestly. And while we're pouring this and talking about it, before I get into more of what I've been drinking recently, I did a big thing today.
You did.
I think I might have talked about it on the podcast before, but for Lucy's 30th birthday back in January, she was like, I'm going to get my first tattoo. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll do that for my 30th as well. Because it was never a question of if. Like once we got on our own and, you know, had our own money, it was more of a question of when. And I was like, well, I think 30 is like it's a good time to do that. You know, and I'm not bemoaning anybody who did it before 30. I don't care. It's just that we
19.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. It's not my
grand. Look what I did.
So before I came and recorded, I got
look at that forearm, baby.
my first tattoo. It hurts like a son of a gun. Still, I was really not prepared for the very like specific pain.
It's different.
That it is.
It's different.
And I was talking with the guy who did it, and he was like, "Yeah, it feels like you get scratched by a cat." And I was like, "Yeah, it does have that lingering, very tiny.
It's a burn sting.
Yeah, it is a constant burn. And it's. I'm really, really happy with it, and I'll tell you what it is too. I don't even. You know what it is. So I don't. There's not really a good way for me to show this on camera, and I apologize. But if you're watching the video version, and audio listeners love you to death,
put a picture up on there for me.
Yeah, I'll do that too. The top line is Lucy's name in Elvish script from Lord of the Rings, and the bottom one is Eden's name in Elvish script. And I was trying to decide like how I wanted to go about doing this.
They spelled her name wrong.
Wouldn't that be something? You would know.
I gotta tell you something.
So I took Eden's first and I knew I wanted to do Eden's first and middle name in the script, and I wanted to have Lucy's name too, but I couldn't decide between Lucy's maiden middle name or the middle name that she has now, which is her old last name.
Right.
And so I went with her old last name because, I mean, that's her name now.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think, I think it truly got down to what looked better as well. And
it looks cool.
Yeah. I think it looks
up really well.
I think it looks really, really good. I mean, I took the time to, I mean, being a graphic designer, I was like, I don't want to just throw anything on my body. So I like took the time in Illustrator and like lined it up and made sure that it was perfectly evenly spaced and everything.
They did a good job too, because sometimes
it's really
sometimes
accurate.
Sometimes the like script and like really like tight like lettering and stuff is harder to do than like an actual. It looks good. Yeah. It's crisp, very crisp.
Yeah. So so Black Rose Tattoo in downtown Lexington, they're across the street from Goodfellas.
Yeah.
The original Goodfellas location.
Not the one that we go to now, the OG.
Yeah, the one that you would go to at night when you've been out in downtown Lexington with your friends.
Real bad.
And you really need something to make sure you're not going to feel terrible the next morning.
You can't make it a Tallyho.
Is Tallyho closed? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure I saw them open the other day.
Okay. Because every time I've driven by them recently...
They have weird hours, though.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they do cater to college students who are up way too late or up way too early.
And adults who decide one night they're just going to go out and they realize they've been out too long and they need food.
Hands down, one of the best.
And night shift nurses since
there we go.
DoorDash and stuff started.
There we go.
People would blow them up at night at the hospital.
But early tips and bits. Maybe we've talked about them before too. If you're in Lexington, we talked about them when we were talking about the wrestling announcers.
Yeah, because I went out with wrestlers there, and that was like the only thing open after a WWE event.
Yeah.
And they were like sending one person in to check out the crowd and being like, they had like codes. They were like, is there people wearing wrestling shirts in there? Are we cool to go in and stuff like that? It was interesting to watch.
But it's just like a greasy spoon in just on the outskirts of like downtown.
Hoe burger, baby.
You have not lived until you've had a hoe burger. Double with cheese, bacon is absolute money.
That's so good.
I think Tallyho was the first place I ever got a BLT from, like at a restaurant.
As soon as you said B, I was like, what? I thought you were going to... That's the first place I ever got a B. One of those jobs.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's a really good...
it's really, really good.
I've actually got two over there. Swan, I got one from Swan that you have actually had because you all... And then I had one of my own, so... And I haven't opened them in a while, so that's good. That's just classic Buffalo Trace to me.
I think it's got to be like 10 years old.
It's got the, it's like the older cherry cola.
Yeah.
It's got that cherry cola that I just love.
It's like an elevated Eagle Rare pick. And it's, it's 100 proof, so it's 10 proof points higher than Eagle Rare is.
You think that... Harlan is the one that picks these, or is there somebody else? You think he's like, hey, Freddie, will you go pick the E.H. Taylor single barrel for this run?
I think it's got to be somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that Harlan is described, and I've never had the good fortune of actually like meeting him.
Has he ever smiled?
I don't know.
I don't feel like I've ever seen him smile on like interviews.
I truly don't know.
We went to that. Me and April went to one of the like 6 million barrels. What those events where they're like pouring like the millionth barrel. Like I put in for one, and it was the one before COVID because we were in the apartment before we went there. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. There's food and all this stuff. But like everybody's having a time, and we were sitting there, and he was like actually sitting beside us over there. I don't think I ever saw him smile one time.
Well, if I don't know if it's still on their website, on their YouTube or whatever, how you would find it. But when Buffalo Trace did the like live stream and in-person event earlier this year,
the one you were at,
the one that I was at, I smiled. And I had a great time because I was sitting
in the camera the whole time.
I was in camera.
I remember that.
In the wide shot. And there's a part of it that's pretty early on. And like I was sitting with Chad and Sarah, and we were getting texts that were like, is that Perry? And they're early on in the stream. Like I had known that the camera was on me.
Look at that.
That's nice. That's really nice. Anyway, I just like casually just turned around and went,
Huh? Everybody's watching there, the whole whiskey community. Is that Perry?
is that Perry? But I think I did turn around at one point and just go, just like smiled at the. I don't remember, but it was a good time. I hope that we can do that again sometime eventually.
Didn't they just have one?
Not yet.
No.
That's so they're not doing an in-person one this time around. They're pre-taping it, and then like the day after it happens, they're posting the video, and that's when everybody's going to find out whether or not they won. We are in the drawing this time for it.
If we won.
There's only a select few that they're offering right now.
I know, but which one? If you got to choose between them all.
Ideally, I would want to do a 1792 full proof. Because that's like the big dog that they're offering in this drawing. But they're also offering regular Buffalo Trace, Weller full proof, and
no stack.
No, I think it's Blanton's.
That's the one.
No,
please.
Do you really want to do a Blanton's pick? Okay, fine. If it would make you happy to do a Blanton's pick and just go full tater mode.
No, listen. I am trying to get Blanton's detatered. I want Blanton's to be cool. When I post videos or stories or something and I put me with Blanton's and all that, that's 100% me. I told you like a couple weeks ago, I was like, what if I just started my collection was just Blanton's? I'm for real. If they sent
it gives you enough variety.
If they sent me the thing and was like, "What do you want?" I'm picking Blanton's. So I'm just heads up. If somehow
okay.
You're busy. You're at work. They're like, "Do this." You're like, "Please, Eric, please." 1792 full proof
Blanton's.
Oh!
You hit the Blanton's button, and you shouldn't have did that.
It's like Weller foolproof. All this. They're like Blanton's. We picked the best goddamn Blanton's you've ever had.
So it's broken up into two drawings. Okay. The first drawing is the 1792 full proof.
Right.
And the second one is all three of those other products.
How is it? What?
So in my estimation, you're hoping and crossing your fingers that during the whole drawing of the first round, our number doesn't get called.
They're like last pick, and I'm like, yes.
But if we somehow are lucky enough in the second round to get picked, we will do a Blanton's pick.
You heard it here. Blanton's, baby. Pinky
promise. I haven't done a pinky promise since I was like
if this happens, this
15.
will be the most amazing thing ever.
I mean, could you imagine our logo on a Blanton's pick?
Oh, that'd be so good.
Just the microphone.
It'd be so good.
I actually kind of want this to happen now. The classiest Blanton's pick of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, back to what we've been drinking recently. We've done a whole lap around the
mile run, a 5K.
This Taylor has really been the main thing.
That's good.
I'm so impressed with it. I can't wait to get into our review as well. And also thank you everybody who has been extremely positive and warm towards last week's episode, the review for the 135th anniversary Four Roses. That
was so fun.
It was one of my favorite episodes that we have ever done.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to that, you need to go back or watch it, listen to it, whatever.
Yeah, please. And I said this on my Instagram live last night. I always have a little bit of anxiety when we do reviews of products that are sent to us by distilleries.
Yeah.
Especially when our review is so overwhelmingly positive that it sounds like we got paid to do it. The fact of the matter is, We did not.
No.
We have been consistently very honest on the show when we do reviews, regardless of whether we have bought them or they have been sent to us by distilleries, for better or worse.
I think that most of the people that listen know that we are honest.
Yeah.
Like we've said some pretty bad things about stuff.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this out of like a response to anything that anybody has said. This is my own anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
Like I just felt it this week, like leading up to posting it. And the thing that I said on my live was, I always have anxiety over episodes, especially ones like this, until we record the next one.
Yeah.
And then it's like the last one just didn't even happen.
Right.
And I made a very specific example of being really anxious about a particular review that we put out, and at times questioning whether or not I even wanted to put out the review because of how negative we were towards it. And I still kind of feel bad about it, but at the end of the day, we pride ourselves on our honesty with products that we do or do not like.
Yeah.
That is just how it goes. Yeah. And, you know, for every Four Roses 135th anniversary that we review and love, there's like 3 hidden barns. So.
Well, that's the truth.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I'm only saying this because I felt anxious about it this week. Like literally not because nobody said a thing. You guys are the best. Like genuinely, you don't question us that you might other podcasts. And I really, really do appreciate that. And it means a lot to me. But we, yeah, I mean, it doesn't come lightly that we say this is a perfect score or a 20 out of 20. It's a very measured approach to the whole of it. Anyway, that's about it. I wanted to talk a little bit about this topic that
I'll pour this up. Let us sit for a second while we do.
Okay, I think that sounds good. I brought up this topic last week because we were talking about the Driftless Glen vanilla extract barrel finished bourbon or rye. I can't remember. Anyway, they had a new product out. Let me drink this water real quick. I
was kind of excited about it, but I don't get excited about finishes anymore.
And Bill Robarsh, who left us the barrel ring about it. We don't have a barrel ring this week, but next week maybe. Thank you. Said he was a little apprehensive about it, and I kind of understand that. It's weird. But we'll get into why it might not have been the most off-the-wall thing that could have happened with a single barrel finish in just a moment. But the question that I posited last week that I wanted us to kind of mull over, I don't know how much mulling you did over this question.
A little bit.
Okay. Has barrel finishing gone too far in the year of our Lord 2023 as of September the 8th?
So I thought about it in 2 ways.
Okay.
And both are yes.
There you go.
I thought about it in
case closed.
Has it gone too far as what are we doing? Like you look at Good Times and, you know, or even like the Driftless Glen, like finished in vanilla extract barrels and finished in, you know, grape cigarello barrels or what, like, I think there's enough people that have finished stuff in things crazy to say that's too far.
Well, let me, in defense of Driftless Glen, and this was not something that I knew, but was shared in our Discord today. They were not the first ones to do that.
Okay.
Belle Meade was.
Okay. Either way,
you don't like it.
Yes. Either way, it has gone too far. Like it's to a point where we're finishing things and blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, as far as the finish goes, yes, I think we've hit a point where it's gone too far. And then I look at it in a way of how many different brands are finishing now, and it's like that's a ton of products coming out. And I say, yes, there are so many finished products now that I feel like I kind of want it to stop. And I'm even saying like French oak and stuff like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, because it's getting to the point where somebody puts out a release or like even a smaller brand or something, and it's like finished in this, finished in that, all this, and it's like, can you just? I mean, we have group chats now where we see look at this bourbon, it sounds great. Oh, it's going into a whatever barrel. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like everything is like just finished in something else. And it's like, it's not special anymore because everybody does it. Everybody's doing the same finishing and all that. And it's just like, come on. Like, I'm tired. Like, I have a ton of finished products. I can't say that I hate them. I got maple finished. I got honey finished. I've got whatever finished. I got one that's like peach, like gummy bears.
I really thought you were going to say Pete Samuels finished.
Pete Samuels finished.
How do you get that white Maker's Mark wax?
Well, you don't want to know. But it's like now, like those bottles aren't even unique anymore because everybody has a honey finished. Everybody has a maple finished. Everybody has a chocolate, a cigar batch, whatever. Like, it is. It's too much. What if all the people that did all the finishes just stopped and then they were like, 2 years later, they were like, oh, we brought out a maple. Wouldn't that seem more special?
No, I don't disagree with that. I am more of the persuasion that it hasn't gone too far. And the reason for me is that I still feel like, and maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot with this comment because of something like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep picking on them, Good Times, where they just keep doing like weirder and weirder and weirder things. I feel like that there's still some more things to be discovered. Yeah. To me, it's pushing the limits of artistic expression in a way. I know that sounds really weird. Here's my defense for it, though. I'm going to shoot myself in my actual foot. It's a Mr. Beast video. I'm going to shoot myself in both feet as many times as I can.
$20,000 if he would shoot himself in the foot, and then we'd match it if he did his other foot.
That's exactly what that video would be, too. I thought, nah, brother.
Who needs feet? They make wheelchairs. And then I gave him a wheelchair.
And 2 new feet. And another $40,000.
And this surgeon was blind, and I gave him sight so he could put the feet on. I'm Mr. Beast. We've been on a raft for 60 days.
I'm filming this video from a different video. This is a very niche joke that you and I have.
I love it.
But it's so funny to me. I found 20,000 rats, and I asked each of them if they would date Jennifer Aniston.
And the last ones to survive after the date wins $1 million.
Millionaire per rat.
And then we put him on the world's biggest yacht. And he fought for his life in a freaking Squid Game event.
I put 100 people in a room filled with bees, like not a little bit of bees, a lot of bees, the most bees you can imagine.
Per person.
Whoever doesn't die from anaphylactic shock, because it's going to happen eventually, wins all of the money.
And I gave all those bees money. And then they say bees die when they sting somebody, but I
I developed
them.
a cure to bring bees back from the dead after they sting somebody. Sorry. What were we talking about?
I shot you in the foot.
No, that was
And then we
the good times. So in defense of what I was saying,
yes.
I think that the only way that we can truly learn if we have gone too far is to push it.
We actually go too far.
Is to push it to the limit.
What's the limit for you?
I don't know.
What? You see something pop up on
Human
coming
feces.
Okay. You see it finished in a porta potty. No, like think of something. Think of, okay, we've got other spirits. We've got food. We've
Trash
got
can blending.
That's already happened.
And maybe still happening. Who's to say?
Probably still going on. But food, spirits, cigars, whatever. You see something pop up that says that we finished it in this. What is the thing that you just sit back and go, we've gone too far? Like, honestly.
I mean, truthfully, it's probably like it's just a barrel of poop. A barrel that once had
everything
poop.
up to poop is good.
I don't know.
For you.
No, not necessarily, but I think that that's like the first
Fish. Like, what if they went?
I don't know. I don't see like there's
what if Heaven Hill was like, we're going to take it back to pre-prohibition or whatever, when they would take the fish out of the barrel and they would use the barrel.
Okay, but you have to think about too, bourbon exists now because that happened at one point.
Jeffersons did that probably, didn't they?
Sure. But I'm just saying, like, it didn't, okay, there were people who didn't like it, but the point stands
That's
that...
why we have the bottled and bond act.
Yeah, exactly. We've made a full circle. We closed the loop, everybody. I'm just saying that, like, there wasn't the quality control back then that there is now. So the journey from, like, we have this idea, how are we going to implement this idea and improve the idea eventually has gotten us to this point. So at some point in time, the worst version of this did exist.
Yeah.
And that version is
caused them to change things.
Exactly.
So something needs to happen in whiskey now, that something gets finished to where we change the law.
I mean, maybe.
It's going to be poop.
Maybe. Honestly, like, I'm not trying to be like, we need more laws around what we enjoy, because I don't think that's entirely true. But I do think that, like, the only way we're going to truly know if we have gone too far is when unanimously we say,
we've gone too far.
I can't do this anymore. And we scale things back. And it, like, the defense that I was going to use, I was an art student. I'm sorry. This is what I build a lot of my arguments on.
This is art.
That it's all very subjective.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. But you almost don't know what you dislike until you see, experience, taste, hear it, whatever. And a good example of that, to me, is a musical artist named John Cage.
Okay.
He put out a piece called 4 minutes and 33 seconds.
Oh, Lord.
Okay?
Okay.
There is actual... your light died.
Oh, not that. No more.
Just like my brain. There is actual sheet music for this piece. Okay? He was considered avant-garde. He was considered postmodern. He just had crazy ideas about what he did for art.
Okay.
This whole song, 4 minutes and 33 seconds, the way that it is written is that somebody sits down at a piano, opens their sheet music, and then for 4 minutes and 33 seconds, they do nothing. And the whole thing about it is that the performance is based around
anxiety.
Maybe the atmosphere of the room at the time. People shifting in their seats, coughing, whispering to each other, the AC turning on and cracking, the building settling in a way that it's all supposed to be a form of like human experience.
Okay.
Right? But that was like a wall for some people where it was like, well, this isn't music. This doesn't make any sense to me. And like, I get that.
Yeah.
But I also, my brain is wired the right way to go, oh, but there's something really cool about that.
You would think that.
I know I would.
After making me watch freaking that pig documentary. Yeah. There's something in here.
But I mean, that's just how I think is like, even if the response from it, and maybe this is a product of the way that I was raised too. I don't know if I fully believe this anymore, but you know, the idea growing up in the church was everything happens for a reason. It's all part of God's plan, right?
God's plan.
I knew you were gonna. Yeah. Anyway, and so like to me, it's like you can't know what the limits are until the limits have been met or exceeded.
This has turned into the most opposite in my head now. Because normally people will be like, oh, Whiskey Mutant probably, he wants to see stuff finished in freaking like Double Dare snot. And I'm like, and you would be like,
Nickelodeon slime.
Yeah. And you would be like, no, we need to like settle down. But now it's opposite because I'm like, I'm tired of finishing. You're like, we need to get to poop.
I don't, you're misquoting me, but, but like the idea of that is still kind of true. Like I'm just curious. And here's the other half of this too for me. I know and appreciate and love and respect and celebrate the fact that bourbon is so rooted in tradition.
Yeah.
I get that. I have, it's what made me fall truly in love with it in the first place.
Yeah.
We're at a point in time where that experimentation that we're seeing, I think it's okay. I mean, I don't want to buy anything from Good Times, but I don't have any problem with the fact that it's happening. It doesn't feel like a black eye to me in the way that I think that it's being perceived by a lot of people. And the other half of this too, there are now three halves. Oh. The other part of this too is that I don't think we can truly have a fully formed opinion on whether or not Good Times is doing right or wrong until we have tried a lot of what they have put out. And I mean that sincerely. Like if we have their banana,
are we going to start sourcing samples of Good Times and do?
I kind of want to
send them.
I think we need to. And I'm not trying.
I'll do a whole episode on
this. Was not a setup for like fishing for samples, but I mean, did I just make a bubble? Did you see that? I think I spoke the right way and I had enough spit and it made a little bubble.
It's a sign.
Bubble finished.
Good Times.
I'm just saying, like, I just want to know.
Let's do it.
If
I'll start looking. I'll start asking myself.
Sure.
Send them,
please.
How many different finishes would you try on one episode? What would be a good number?
Well, considering that we went through 10 different recipes.
Oh my God.
But
10?
I mean, what if it's just like, I mean, we poured 1/4 ounce samples for ourselves.
Imagine how fucked up our palate would be.
Well, then we don't do a review for that episode.
No, I'm just saying, like, after we've had like watermelon finished and like banana Foster finished.
Yeah,
and, like,
I understand. I just think it'll reset eventually. People have had COVID and come back from it.
That's true.
Look at Swan.
COVID finished.
Oh.
Let's do it.
Okay. So send us an email. This is mybourbonshop@gmail.com. Or message us on social media. And I mean, genuine. This is not us trying to like set ourselves up for.
I had no idea that he was going to start talking about this.
Well, I didn't know I was either. It just kind of happened.
Good Times so much.
I've never had Good Times.
You think you haven't?
How about we do a review?
Okay. All right. This was not finished.
this is an unfinished product.
Yes.
This was sent to us, again, free of charge.
You getting a little
From our
nervous
friends.
right now?
A little bit. A little bit. At Heaven Hill, this is the Parker's Heritage Collection 17th edition Cask Strength Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey, 10 years old, 128.8 proof.
I have not heard anything about this yet.
I have heard mixed to positive things about this.
Okay.
So there's a couple things I want to do here. First of all, I want to say this has a lot to live up to, especially for me after last year's Parker's Heritage Collection, which took my number one product of the year. I don't know. I'm trying to go into this with as little preconceived notions as I can.
Okay.
But last year was really spectacular.
It was.
So we'll find that out. The other thing I wanted to do in our discussing what came before this release, we started going down the rabbit hole of all the other releases of Parker's Heritage, going back to 2007 with the first edition. And I just kind of wanted to run through some of these. I figured if we didn't know about this, other people probably haven't learned about
Probably
it as
not,
well.
But there are people. Oh, you kidding me?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
You kidding me?
Every episode is somebody's first episode.
Kidding me?
So the very first edition of Parker's Heritage in 2007 was a cask strength bourbon.
Five different proofs.
5 different proofs. Don't know if they were single barrels. Don't know if they were batches. Don't even know if they were rye bourbons. They could have been wheated.
I'll call the gift shop and ask. They probably
Yeah,
know.
give them a holler.
All right.
I'm sure they would love to hear from you about that. And don't even know the age on these truly either. Ramping up to 2008 with the second edition, a 27-year-old 96
Jesus.
proof Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
27-year-old.
I have to imagine in 2008, this was like a $75 bottle of bourbon.
$40.
Probably was not a whole lot. I mean, now, it's like $200 or whatever for these bottles. But 2009, the third edition was called Golden Anniversary. It was another bourbon, 100 proof. Fourth edition was a wheated bourbon. There were 2 proofs, so it could have been a couple different batches or whatever. You brought this up too. Crazy in 2011 with the 5th edition, it was a cognac finish.
I mean, they've been doing this since 2011.
Well, 2007.
It says 2011.
The first one was 2007.
No, finishing. We were just talking about
sorry.
finishing.
Oh, okay. I got you. 6th edition blend of mash bills.
Look at the proofs on those blends.
Yeah, one of them's almost hazmat. 139.4. I didn't even truly take a good look at, but 129.6 on the first edition. That in 2012 would have put hair on people's chests. I feel like. 2013, the 7th edition, Promise of Hope. I think that was the year that Parker passed away.
I've just heard legendary. That's legendary
Yeah.
status on that one.
This is another 96 proofer.
Yeah, that one was 96.
So I wonder if that had some kind of significance for Parker.
Maybe.
8th edition, original batch wheat whiskey. 3 different proofs. 2015, malt whiskey. 2016, 24-year-old bottled and bond
Jeez.
bourbon. I wish I had been doing the podcast in 2016. Could have gotten a sample of that. 2017, 11-year-old single barrel
That's
Kentucky
crazy.
straight bourbon whiskey. 12th edition in 2018, as a lot of people know, orange curacao finished bourbon, 110
I
proof.
bet that's an interesting one.
I like it. I didn't dislike it when
I don't think
had
I've
it.
ever had it.
I had it at a bar once. It was good.
Yeah.
I was impressed with it. 2019, Heavy Char Rye Whiskey, which I loved. 2020, the 14th edition Heavy Char
one of my
Bourbon,
favorites.
which
I have a
I
bottle.
actually have sitting on the floor over there, and I think we're going to have a little bit of.
Yep.
2021, 15th edition was the Heavy Char Wheat Whiskey, and that brings us up to date last year with the double-barreled blend of bourbon, 132.2 proof,
My number 2.
and my number 1
Yep.
for 2022. And so here we are with the Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey, 10-year-old, cask strength rye.
128.8 proof.
I think this is supposed to be about $150. However, I want to confirm that.
They had a dinner or a breakfast where you could like sign up for.
Oh, look, it's $800 at thebarreltap.com.
150.
Probably be 150.
Let's say 150.
Yeah, we'll say it was 150. I'm comfortable with that. I apologize. I left the fact sheet. Actually, it might be in that box over there. Hold on.
There it is. He found it.
The first number I saw was $1.2 million.
Oh, shit.
$185.
80. 185. Okay. Okay.
All right.
I mean, at 150, you know, what's $35 more?
Half a tank of gas.
That's true. Especially if you're going to Heaven Hill to get it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Y'all ready for this?
All right. I say we get into it.
All right. Smells like a rye whiskey.
It smells like Rick House whiskey. Like when you're in a Rick House and the angels share.
When the angels
is floating all around you. There's two places that the angels are. Rick Houses and in the outfield.
I can think of a couple more.
Harlem. Montgomery.
That smells good.
Yeah, it really does have a lot of the oaky characteristics of walking around a Rick House and bourbon being lifted up to the heavens.
It definitely smells older than 10 years. Is that how? Yeah, 10 years. It smells way older. It's got rye. It definitely smells like a rye. It smells like an older rye. But there is like a dark chocolatey note on there that you pull out. But there's not too much complexity going on. You can tell it's old. Like you said.
Yeah.
It smells like a Rick House.
Yeah. All right. Time to find out. Do we have whiskey of the year in our glasses?
Pretty good.
It's pretty dang good.
It's pretty good.
What am I missing though?
It doesn't straight knock me back in my chair and go, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's solid. There's nothing wrong with it. It tastes like a really good rye whiskey. This is one of those that is good, but if this was in a different package, if this was like a cheaper something, I would probably.
This is $100 bottle.
Yeah, like this is not over the past two Parkers that we've had, or the past three. What did we say about the wheat? Do you remember?
I do not remember. I actually don't know if we technically reviewed it.
Well,
were you on the show at that point?
I don't know.
How long you been on? 2 years? Yeah,
almost
you would have
3.
You started in 21.
So it would have been that one.
I just don't remember if we got it.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing it when I was packing up my collection. I just don't remember if we
I don't remember.
Reviewed it.
Just comparing it to last year and comparing it to what I have.
Are you okay with us doing a little?
Yeah.
Seed be seed?
I mean, this is a 10-year bourbon. This is 10-year bourbon heavy char. I know they had a heavy char rye,
which I loved. That rye was so good.
I don't know. Like I feel like this is a solid there's nothing wrong with this, but it's not that LE, that once a year release factor.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
If I remember correctly, this was an excellent bottle as well.
I put a hit on this.
Dude, I think that's about how my bottle of the double barrel blend is right now too.
Oh my! I mean,
now it's night and day.
There's something on that when you smell it, you're like, this is special. It's like cinnamon rolls. It's like old Rick House and cinnamon rolls.
You know what I would like to do at some point is take the time to really nail down what the dusty note is.
Mm-hmm.
Because we always say, oh, it's like musty and it's got a little funky thing going on. But like, what exactly is that? I don't know. But it does have a like dusty barrel kind of quality to it. This is the bourbon, by the way, the 10-year heavy char.
Now that makes you sit back and just go, yeah.
Oh, that feels special.
Yeah.
Oh.
There is a finish on that thing like nobody's business. Like, and it reminds me of that one we had last year too.
Ooh. Yeah, this feels the bourbon feels like the first attempt at the double barrel blend.
Uh-huh.
Not out of any like particular reason.
Yeah, it just feels like this is that's amazing.
It's in the same like caliber, I think.
And then the next level up is the purple one you got.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like this is a great rye whiskey, the one we're reviewing, the new one. But it's not got that special factor. It just doesn't have that. I mean, this is, like you said, it's solid. I'd pay $100 for this. But we are in LE season, and we have to
and also, okay, I'm going to backtrack on a couple of these comments, especially based on the price, because we gave the double barrel blend price last year, which I think was like $175, a pass. Yes, because of how good it was, but also because these bottles, the profits do go towards ALS research.
True.
So, I mean, you're basically buying like, it's not exactly this, but it's like a tax write-off. You're doing something good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like you've got to approach it from a standpoint of, I may be paying a little bit more than I'm comfortable with, but there's good things happening with this bottle as well. It's not just.
I'll take that into consideration, but I think.
But I refuse to give it.
But as far as like a once a year LE, like a big bottle that people look for, I don't think it has that it factor when I drink it.
Yeah.
Like I could see this being like, I don't even know what, like if they put out like, we're going to put out a barrel proof Elijah Craig single barrel rye.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
We're going to charge $100 for it. I'd be like, that's what this tastes like to me.
You know what's crazy? Heaven hill, I'm sorry. What the heck happened with the Bernheim wheat whiskey? Barrel proof? One batch and then it's done? It was good.
They did it in the do your own thing as well.
Well, that was like a single barrel.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying like that's the only thing I've heard from the barrel proof.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like I thought it was supposed to be a multiple batches per year kind of deal, and we haven't gotten that. So, what do you think, Garp? He's happy about it. Oh man, we'll talk about One Piece again in a little bit.
Oh yeah,
I think because you finished it.
Yeah, I gotta resume my thing. But anyway, Good, but not great.
Yeah. I hate to align myself with the reviews that I've kind of glanced at prior to this. I do think this is a step down from last year. I hate to compare it to that because last year is like S tier level bourbon for me. But I think that Ravenel can do better.
You just gotta this is gonna get a good score.
Oh no, yeah, yeah.
In the 'tis the season of special releases. This is not living up to that for me. I would drink this all day, but it's crushable.
Yeah.
It's just not got that thing that's like, where's that it factor on it?
Yeah, I agree. All right. Nose, palate, finish, and price. Categories out of 5. Final scores out of 20.
3.5.
That's where I was leaning.
It's good. It's got a good nose.
Yeah.
It's just not a special nose. It doesn't hit that 4 and above mark. Like, this is going to smell better than most of your, like, run-of-the-mill rye whiskeys or single-barrel whiskeys and stuff like that. But it's not got that Parker's, like, this is a special release.
Yeah, you know what, though? Going back to the palate, I really do enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, it does light me up in a way that it like activates the, dopamine receptors in my brain or whatever. I like the way this tastes. I mean, truly, like if you break it down, I like the way this tastes. I am going to give it a 4.
I'm 3.5 again. It's good.
Yeah.
It's, I always say like 2.5, 3 is kind of down the line. This is a little better than most, but like there's just not anything that's elevating it to that high mark.
Yeah. I think the finish is the low point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little short. It doesn't really pull me back in for another drink. I mean, I'm still kind of spending time with it, dissecting what's going on. There's a little bit of oak. There's a little bit of pine too. And I'm actually getting a fair bit of like orange zest, citrus on the finish as well. That all being said, I think it just needs a little bit more oomph to it. 3. To me, that's right down the middle. Even a 2.5 would be right down the middle technically.
Say I'm teetering 2.5 and 3. I'm going to say a 3 because it's there, but I don't get much added on to the palate and everything from the finish. Like I can feel the finish. I mean, it is 128.8
Yeah,
proof.
that's a really good point.
But I'm not getting those extra notes like sometimes like last review. I felt like I got a ton of extra stuff on the finish.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's got a finish, maybe just not a complex finish.
Yeah. Price at $185. I mean, I still am not so opposed to that based on the purpose behind this bottle.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is still a good rye whiskey. It's not bad.
If I'm looking at it like a 10-year product from Heaven Hill that's special, say we take the Old Fitz stuff, I'm definitely paying $100 for this.
I mean, this is definitely better than the Old Fitz that we just tried.
Yeah, and if I know that it, I don't know how much of that goes to the charity. I would say this is a 4 on the price. I'm okay with adding a little bit to help the cause, and I'm okay with paying $100 for this. So I would say a 4. I'd say the price is probably one of the best things about it, just because it's still around probably that $100 range, and then you're adding to the benefit and everything. Yeah. So I gave it a 14.
I don't have any problem with giving it a 4 either. I'll stick with that. My final score was 14.5.
I think you were, I was going to say you're a little bit above me.
Yeah, I think that we spoke a little bit more negatively about this than actually our scores would reflect. But I mean, this is a good whiskey. It's a good rye whiskey. I just am missing the special quality that we would have felt with something like last year's release.
Right.
That's all that it is.
That's what I was saying earlier. You put this in a different package and it's probably going, it's just, you've got to live up to the standards of the one before it. I think that's what we have. We have the release from last year to compare to, and even releases before, and it doesn't fall in line with those releases.
It is good though. Undeniably, it is a really good rye whiskey.
I would say this is one that if it's a little pricey in a bar, go for it, try it. I don't know if I would say try to camp out, and you know what I mean?
Oh no, I agree.
I would say try this in a bar.
This isn't a get on the Facebook group, what does Heaven Hill have today?
No.
And
I wouldn't bunch up a bunch of bottles and trade for it on your group or whatever. I would try this at a bar and see what you think, and it's going to be you're going to be happy. But you're not going to be like, oh, this is, whiskey of the year.
Or maybe you are. I mean, honestly, maybe that's your...
I'm not saying that word, though. I'm not saying the word.
Okay, fine. You don't have to.
I'm not saying it.
Maybe your experience is different from ours. That's what I'll say.
Implying the word.
Yeah. There's no barrel rings this week.
Well, Bill.
It's all right. Well...
Struck out.
Can't hit a homer every at bat.
I mean, it's only just the punching in. I'm sure he has on speed dial. It's just
probably
as easy as but.
But if you do want to send us a voicemail for our barrel ring segment, you can do so by calling 859-428-8253. That was actually beautiful.
I think we could put it on an album.
I think I shed a tear.
I felt something in my pants.
Oh, that's just your Crohn's.
Oh. The front side, not the back side.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. High Proof Hot Takes, though. Segment where we talk about something that has been bugging us.
It's been bugging me. I can't. I put all my High Proof Hot Takes on Patreon.
Yeah, let's skip it this week. Yeah, that's fine. Tips and bits, though.
Tips and bits. I finished One Piece. I
was
halfway. I was actually episode 5 because we were talking and I was trying to figure out where it was. And
so I was only one episode ahead of you.
Yeah.
Then.
I love this. I've posted about it already. There is a scene towards the end. It's like the next to last episode or at the end of it, because in the manga, in the anime, and
they
in
did
this,
it so
they
well.
did it perfectly. It's just it's the moment to where the team comes together and you get the chills that these are badasses, and I loved it.
Monkey D. Luffy. He's so weird and fun and energetic.
But when he gets serious,
you're like, oh.
They did it.
God, he's so good in the show,
man. They broke the curse, like I said. I knew that they did after the first couple episodes, but finishing it out, this is 100% the best anime to live action adaptation I've seen.
Agree.
And I'm not counting when the Japanese studio turns around and makes the same thing again. I'm talking about Netflix, Western film and all this. They took it and they did it. The music is great. The scenery in this is beautiful. They took wacky things in the anime that I never thought would work, and they made it work. And
I also, coming back from my comments last week, I really actually did by the end of the season come around to, both Arlong and Usopp.
Usopp?
I think Usopp had the best progression of
the
dislike to like.
The more the episodes go on, the more he does lie, and you're like, okay.
It's like, yeah, that's the point. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, he got it.
And it's supposed to be big and boisterous and funny, and you're like, I see what's going on here. And that final story that he's telling in the last episode is so good.
And then when
it's so much
Luffy,
fun.
like, that's him, like he's like, yeah.
3 cheers for Captain Usopp.
Yeah.
So good, man.
Arlong, I completely forgot about him being so like giant-like in the anime because...
Well, that was my problem with him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, but the character, the guy playing, I guess the actor playing Arlong did such a good job of making him such a asshole.
He's very intimidating.
That you forget that he's, maybe he doesn't look that big, but I mean, they did it. I cannot wait for season 2. It's just such a great. It's a great show.
I know that there are a million things to watch and listen to and read. Do you think that you'll go back and rewatch this season
on Netflix?
Yeah. I think I will too.
I think
I just got so much joy from it.
Well, I was texting you the other day and talking about wanting to reread Bleach from the beginning because there's a new season of Bleach,
and that ties really into my tips and bits as well.
And I would love to go back and read One Piece because I've only read bits and pieces, just random stuff. And I would love to sit down and just say, I'm going to start from chapter 1 of One Piece and read the current, because the anime is on episode 1076.
That's what I think you said 77 last week. So around that.
Yeah, something like that.
In the 1070s.
And I've watched every episode, even the filler episodes. I've watched it all. It's honestly became one of my favorite animes of all time. And I would love to go back and read it just in rhythm with what, no fillers, nothing else, and just see because. So,
well, off the back of that, I read through the original 16-volume run of Dragon Ball this week.
Yeah.
The one that ends with the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai.
Mm-hmm.
The rush of serotonin and dopamine that I got reading that, first of all, reminded me why I fell in love with the series in the first place. And second of all, just reminded me of how much I love the original manga version of Goku.
Yeah.
Like he's as much as I appreciate an extrinsically motivated character, like somebody who just wants to do good for other people because that's what you should do, I love the message of the best thing you can do in life is continue to improve yourself until you've reached your goals.
Put yourself in a negative pressure anti-gravity room and just blast yourself until you become strong.
Do something that scares you. Do something that you could potentially fail at.
Yeah.
I mean, I will be very honest. Leading up to today, I had a lot of anxiety about getting a tattoo.
Now look at you.
And it's happened, and I'm very happy with it. But I mean, it's so easy to just say, yeah, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
It's so easy to do that. But pushing yourself is it's so much more rewarding.
Yeah.
And I just know why Goku is such a formidable and grounding character that people draw a lot of inspiration from. And the first 16 volumes of Dragon Ball are incredibly well paced.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally got through them in 3 days.
I was going to say the pacing of the manga in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z is a completely different animal than if you sit and watch the anime.
Well, see, I'm at the point where I think I would rather read the manga than watch the anime. But on the backside of that, though, I've been watching Dragon Ball Z Kai, which I've never seen before, and it takes out all the filler from
All
the
filler-
original
all-
run.
What do they say? All thriller? No.
All thriller, no filler.
Yeah, something like that.
And yeah, I mean, it doesn't have the weird like side stories that are of no consequence to, and that's how I prefer to experience it. And like I got through the manga of Dragon Ball, and I was like, I want to watch Dragon Ball Kai.
Yeah.
I want that to be a thing. I don't know if it ever will be. Dragon Ball Z Kai was so controversial for a while. There were so many hurdles that they had to get over to put it out. But I mean, like, I blew through the Sand Saga, and in 2 episodes they went from we need to go to Namek to we're almost to Namek. I was like, that's how it should be watched. That's the way to consume this.
That traveling to Namek is such a long...
They have so many filler. That's like 3 filler episodes that are garbage.
And back in the day, you had to wait a week in between every one of them,
exactly.
especially when they started dubbing everything.
Yeah. So I'm mostly like gushing over what I already love, but also kind of honing in on the best way that I have found to experience these things that I've already enjoyed. And yeah, it apparently is just when the fat is trimmed off and I get to just watch it the way it was intentionally supposed to be watched, or read the way it was intentionally or originally supposed to be read. So now that was some Goku screaming up there.
He's fighting Frieza up there.
So I'm looking for the right printed versions of Dragon Ball Z manga.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently I'll talk about it off air. It doesn't matter, but I'm in pursuit of that right now. I'm not jumping the trigger the way that I kind of did with the box set that I got. But and on a completely different note, Tyler Childers has a new album out today as of recording. It's 7 songs. It's 28 minutes. It is a brisk listen. It is so good.
Is it?
I've listened to it twice today already.
Nice.
And it's just it's some of his best songwriting. I think he's just an incredible person. Kentucky boy, of course. We've already gone on long enough with this episode, so I won't wax too poetic, but just very thankful to like be alive when this artist is writing music and being a voice.
Yeah.
It's an important thing. So,
you know what else is important?
I do.
Going to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast.
There it
where
is.
you can support the show for as little as $1 a month. But if you want bonus stuff, all the extra stuff, you can subscribe at the $5 tier. And you get everything. You get this episode uncut, where some stuff was said that we can't say on air, and we swore to secrecy. But that also helps us get more stuff, helps us get things to you.
Pay some bills.
And we got a Patreon. Oh, sorry. We got a Discord. I already said Patreon. We got a Discord.
We have a Patreon after talking about Patreon?
We got a Patreon on a Patreon.
I'm taking my headphones off. I got sweaty, by the way.
You're fine.
Okay.
We got a Discord, and if you're on the Patreon, you can get access to that, where we're talking in there all the time. People are sharing stuff. We got crazy stuff happening in there. If you want to get some merch, it's bourbonshop.threadless.com. If you want to get some Whiskey Mutant merch, it's whiskeymutant.myshopify.com.
Do you have anything new coming out over there at the
I'm
moment,
working on it.
or-
I'm still working on it.
Are you
Do
hitting
you
the
have
roadblock?
anything? Huh?
I don't have anything new right now.
Do I have anything new?
No, I mean like on your shop.
Mm-mm.
Do you need some help
For what?
getting like designs and
Money to buy the stuff?
Oh, okay. If it's money, that I can't help.
I got the designs.
I can't help with money.
I got the designs. I gotta buy the stuff.
Eric, let me tell you, I am notoriously bad with money.
Okay. Well, no, I've got the designs coming. I just need to save up some money to put it on there. So
yeah,
people
that's why
buy
I
it.
use Threadless, because you don't have to pay for anything
Right,
up front, and everything just gets shipped to you from the actual producer.
Yeah.
So.
But yes, look for that. If you want to send an email, if you want to send us good time samples, send an email to
This is my bourbon shop at gmail.com.
I'm way off right today. I've got off here. This is my bourbon shop at gmail.com. Send us an email. If you want to send us something, we'll send you the address where to send it. Or if you want us to pair something, do anything, review something, send it there. You can follow us on all social media at My Bourbon Pod. You can follow me at Whiskey Mutant. You can follow Perry at POrder1792. You can go to YouTube where we put the video versions out of this. There's tons of episodes you can watch on there. There's lives that Perry's done. Perry goes live on Instagram, and then he also goes live on YouTube.
Yeah, whenever I have good enough internet
When he gets good
to
enough
do so.
internet.
Actually,
2
weeks from now,
2 weeks.
YouTube live streams will be back.
There we go. You heard it here.
And next week, we might be in not the perfect setup, not the way that things are going to be in the future.
Yeah.
We might be in the new studio.
The new one?
Next week. What do you think about that?
I'm ready. You tell me where to go. I know where it is.
Well, yeah, you've got the address.
Yeah. I know where it is.
I'm just ready to.
You're tired of me, aren't you? You're tired of being here.
No, actually, I love coming
What if
here.
I just
and
busted up the shelf. I just flipped the table. You're tired of this, aren't
actually, it's a really nice. It's been a really nice mental health. I'm the foot. It's been a really, really nice mental health break coming here.
But you're done. You're tired of it.
No, I'm not. I'm not tired at all. And actually, I moving forward, I don't have any opposition to making this like a regular set for it, whatever we need to do.
I'm just here for you.
I'm here for you.
I'm here for you. And you can be here for us by liking, commenting, subscribing, writing letters, telling everybody about us.
Sharing the show with your friends.
Share it.
That's important.
That's it.
But that does it for this week. We love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you so soon. But until next time, I'm Perry.
I'm Aaron.
And this is My Bourbon Podcast. He brought it back. I forgot about it. He brought it back. Are you done?
Yeah. Are you done crying, you asshole?
I'll give you something to cry about.
Pussy baby.
Little piss baby.
Oh, shit.